light and heat. Time to take a stand, boys. Time to make a choice. Time to find our courage. Time to be deployed. Make our only stand here. Make our roads complete. All we waited for now, past the future meet. Get your weapons ready. Kiss the ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. Hopelessly outnumbered, it's tragic but it's true. Make your last formation, take the final road. Now it's time for endings, now it's time to go. Fight the war. Oh, fight the war. Fight the war.
Fighting the war, that's what I'm talking about. You can suck it series, yeah, runner. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, everyone, to the stream. I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to a bonus Friday cast of the Arvanaut stream. I hope you guys are doing well. It is good to talk to you all. It is rainy here in New York City, people. I guess Hurricane Joaquin is not going to make landfall in the East Coast. Instead, it's just going to give us 8 million gallons of water per second or something like that. So it's going to be pretty wet over the next few days. But we will survive. We will somehow manage to make it by. But it's good to see everybody. I hope everyone's doing well and you guys are looking forward to some Alpha Protocol tonight. We got a busy show tonight, actually, because I got a lot of stuff that I've got to get done. Sorry, Shadow. Are you upset, Shadow? Should I stop? Should I turn off? Should I not do my cast because you're upset because of the bonus cast? Sorry, dude. You know, if you have real life intrudes, you always know real life should come first. You always know that. But that said, I did want to get a cast in because yesterday I started so late and ended up being a shorter cast than I wanted to be. And I don't know what early next week is going to bring. I'm assuming we're not going to get hit by a hurricane, but if we are, we're going to have to worry about that. And so hopefully that won't be an issue, but it might be. So in any case, I just wanted to, try to get another cast in now if I possibly could. Spent much of the day today writing and then spending time with my daughter and all that kind of good stuff. And so now we're getting a chance to do this. So busy show tonight. Besides day 2 of Alpha Protocol, I do want to do the short story reading to finish up with the Patreon. Actually, last month I have to do the short story reading to catch up on that. And then I want to do today the nominating poll for the game that you guys would like me to do for this coming month. Again, this is just the nominating poll, so I'm going to take nominations, and then we'll take the top 3 games or so and put those up in a poll, and then as always, we will leave those up over the weekend, and then Tuesday, during my stream, is when we will actually have the official vote as to what game you guys are going to want me to try. So that's happening today also, so that's the thing. Your only plans, oh, I see. I'm just giving you our, yeah, I know, man, I know. But in any case, so that's what I'm looking to do tonight, but it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, so we are going to get into it. You guys know how to support the stream, ! Steam group, to get over to my Steam group and hang out with the Arvanauts in between casts. We've got 244 people over in that group. ! ArvTube to check out my YouTube channel and check out past broadcasts of the stream. And of course, ! Arvtreon to support the Patreon, which is currently sitting at $226. And that means that we are going to have Fighting Fantasy game book sessions next month in October. It means that we are going to have a short story reading in October. It means that we are going to have you guys choosing a game, and we're going to have a voiceover session, all happening thanks to your generosity next month. We're not going to have the marathon session because we didn't get to that $250 level, but if we can get to the $250 level in October, then we'll be able to do that for November and on from there. So that is what we are looking at going forward. And the requirements are basically, Wolfboy, that I'm open to just about anything. I can play most things, assuming that they are on either one of the retro consoles, or assuming that they are on PC, or that there's a port of some kind. I do have also a Nintendo Wii, so theoretically, if it's like a virtual console game, or somehow if anyone really wants me to play a Wii game, I could actually do that also. But that's the deal. If it's an Xbox like One or a PlayStation 4 game, that's not going to work out. But otherwise, I'm open to anything. However, I do reserve the right to veto games that I don't think would be good or suitable for streaming, which means if you want me to play horror games, sorry, not happening. I know it's October, I know Halloween, blah, 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 sorry. Not playing a horror game, not going to do it. Not going to do it. But anyway, so that's what we're looking for. Oh, now the Patreon status has come back. Hurrah! There we go. There it actually is. So there we go. So 25, 226. Yes, I heard about that. What's up, Eljar? I did hear, in fact, that the Patreon got hacked. Although I have to say, what they did was really dumb from what I understand, and Dragonspear is probably better equipped to handle this question on sort of internet security. My understanding is that Patreon was dumb about what they did, but they weren't so dumb as to post information that could be easily usable for others. So there's no way to decrypt any information that was gathered, because there's no, there's nothing in the information they got could be ultimately used to bad ends, but it was really dumb that they did it, and it's just a further example of why even these big companies don't really understand security adequately, it seems to me. So that is my understanding, but yes, I have made some adjustments, so... No. See, Dragonspear is mega salty because I will not play, because I'm not interested in playing No One Lives Forever, because I'm telling him I want a spy game, a spy RPG, and so he's decided that a goofy shooter should be what I use as an RPG. So he's super salty, so now he wants to sort of come up with things that I won't play. I will not play horror. It's not true that I won't play Cyberpunk. I have played Cyberpunk in the past, and in fact, I even mentioned Deus Ex as a possibility, which has Cyberpunk elements, and I even liked Shadowrun, which has some Cyberpunk elements as well. I don't particularly care for post-apocalyptic, but I would try one. I don't mind first-person shooters and have played them in the past. They're not my favorite thing. And you also just mentioned 3 things. First-person shooters, or shooters. So to make Dragonspear's point, Dragonspear, who I love dearly, to make Dragonspear's point, he has decided to repeat multiple times to make it seem like I don't want to play a bunch of games. Arv will play anything except a shooter, or a shooter. Did I miss anything? How about a shooter? Also shooters. Arv does not particularly care a lot of times for shooters, but he does play them. The only thing I will not play is horror games. Anything else is potentially possible. That's the list you thought I didn't like? All right. No, I don't mind those games. I don't like post-apocalyptic particularly. But I mean, the thing is though, just because this is your guys' choice. So just because I wouldn't choose a game to play doesn't mean that I'm not willing to try it. So if you guys want to nominate a game for me, I told you guys, even if you wanted to nominate a bad game, like a Hateful Boyfriend or something, even if you wanted to nominate a terrible game, I will play it. I'm okay with that. The only one I won't do is something which is seriously frightening because I just hate scare games. So I'm not going to play horror games, but or you know, sort of jump scare games. But other than that, I'm cool with whatever. I'm good. I did play Half-Life 2 back in the day. Yep, I did. I think I still... You know what's funny, Thorg, is... hello, Alphador, and I'll say hi to everybody in just a second. I do think, actually, Thorg, that I have Half-Life 2. I want to say Half-Life 2 was the first reason that I got Steam. I think I first got Steam because that was how I got... Like, that was the first game I ever got through Steam was Half-Life 2, I want to say. First-person shooter, and shooter can be third-person. I'm judging you. I'm just giving you a hard time, Dragon. I'm giving you a hard time. You know that, bro. Considering we're talking about ARF playing shooters. Hey, listen, missing taking place. Listen, where is the Grows? Is Grows here? Is Grows here yet? No, Grows is not here yet. I need Grows' support to prove that I can actually do these things. Demiser, you watched me play Mass Effect 3. I was reasonably good at Mass Effect 3. I'm not a terrible shot. I'm not saying I'm the most amazing shot ever, but I am not terrible. Now, in Alpha Protocol, I don't know what to say about the misses. There were a bunch of times where you guys could see for yourself that I had the headshot lined up, but because it is an RPG and not a straight-up shooter, it means that there's, you know, mischances that are sort of built in. So, I think so. Hello, Michelle. So with that said, let me say hi to everybody before I go any further, because I do want to say everyone. Hello to everybody. Hello, first of all, to my wonderful regulars. Hello to, I know, my webcam, I know. Hello to Wolfboy1988. Hello to Shabby. Hello to Sujuke. Hello, Radcount. What's up, PKD fan? Hello, Monkey. What's up, Kanumi? Hello, Hishel. Welcome back, Hishel. Hello to Heaven's Dark Edge. Hello, Fire Snake. Good to see you, Fire Snake. Been a little while, my friend. Hello, Epidemic. What's up, Dragon Right? Good to see you, Dragon. What's up, Divinorium? Hello, Dark and Wolf. Hi, Blackberry Bear, as always. Hello, Beljora. What is up, Axman? What's going on, Atero? What's up, Arctic Conan? I haven't seen you in a while. Alphador, how are you doing, Alphador? Good to see you. Hello, Acclimative. And, of course, my awesome mods. What is up, Thorg? Hello, gentlemen. What is going on, Shadowed Mage? Hello, Series Runner. What is up? Of course, Demiser. Of course, Apples. And most, of course, Dragon Spear. What's going on, guys? Good to see everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. Now, I will now get rid of this, and I will get rid of this, and now I will turn on the webcam. There we go. Hi, everybody. You know, I wasn't trying to be sneaky. I was just kind of, you know, going on into my rhythm. So, one thing I want to ask before we move any farther into Alpha Protocol, by the way, is I just want to ask very quickly. For people who have watched me do short story readings before, thus far I know that I read Sanction to you guys. I know that I read fairly recently, I think I read No More Empires, although I'm not 100% sure about that. No, that's not true. I read Sanction, I read The Lost Sweeper of Calden. I know I read the Space Anthology one, which was Latitude and Longitude. I don't know if I've read you guys recently, anyway, The Caretaker of Meyer from here. Have I? Have I read you guys The Caretaker of Meyer? I have read it on stream in the past, but I don't think I've done so recently. Can someone confirm that that's true? Because if not, then that's the one I'm going to read tonight. Partly because this is what I'm actually doing as my work in progress for a novel that I'm working on. I'm actually expanding this story, and I'm about 29,000 words into it, and I have to see if I could wrap it up by the time I have to get the first novel for my Grey Assassin trilogy that the Ed Greenwood Group is publishing. So that has to happen also. So we're looking at that. I do play strategy games. Yes, I like strategy. In particular, I love Heroes of Might and Magic. I'm a big fan of Heroes of Might and Magic. I have played and won Heroes of Might and Magic 1 on stream and 2 on stream. And I'd like to get to Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I played 4, and then 5 I played a little bit of, and then that was it. So I played 4, I believe, 5 like a mission or 2, and then that's it. I haven't played 5, 6, or obviously 7. So that's the whole thing. Does anybody remember? Yeah, there you go, Thorg. I know, right? You want me to read the whole thing in the voice of Winston Churchill. Today, by the way, I saw in this store, my daughter and I were in this store called Marbles, which is like it's called the Brain Store. They sell like a lot of puzzles and like creative stuff, like you know, like clay and things like that. You know, creativity, brain teaser, puzzle things like that sort of thing. So, so one of the things that I saw in there was this game, and I can't remember the name of it now, but basically the game is a box of cards, and it gives you two sets of cards come with it. And one set of cards is particular phrases and sayings, and the other set of cards is the accent they want you to say it in. So one of them is one of the examples that they gave was I've got more. What was it? I've got more booty than 100 Beyoncés, and then the card accent was pirate. So I guess you're supposed to basically take the card and be like, "Arr, I've got more booty than something like that," and then basically have people in the party game like vote on whether or not they like your accent. Anyway, it struck me funny, and I was thinking about the Our Vocalists and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, "This is cool stuff. I'm digging it." So, its story is a joke. Do you do podcasts reading a book? Well, I do some of that. So, yeah, Cards Against Humanity. No. I've actually won a game of Cards Against Humanity with the writers' workshop I was at a couple years ago, and I've never been so ashamed to have won a game in my life. Yeah, you don't feel good about yourself when you win a game of Cards Against Humanity. You don't feel very human when you win a game of Cards Against Humanity. Yeah, well, Div, I guess that's true. HOM 3. The reason I like HOM 3 is partly nostalgia. I played a lot of HOM 1 and HOM 2. Here's of My Magic 2 is my favorite. But I played a lot of those games with my wife, and I just liked something about them. I love the music. I love the sort of feel of it. I don't know. I like the pacing. And I like the fantasy setting. I always kind of dug those games, I guess. And so, yeah, I wouldn't say that there's like a brilliant story to them. There is story to them, but I wouldn't say that they're brilliant in that regard. But there's a couple of games I have that sort of are a little bit off the beaten path as far as games are as story is concerned, like Gran Turismo. I really like Gran Turismo. Story is not really a story, but I just happen to really like the game. So, because it's like a car RPG. So I really like Gran Turismo. But, you know, like, is there a story to it? Not really. So I guess that's part of it as well. My daughter is 7.5, Alfador. 7.5. Why not get that board game for the Our Vocalist then? Which, oh, you know what? I see. I'd have to find out what the name of it is. That's not a bad idea, Dragon. And just sort of play it. Oh my God. That would be a funny, like, challenge. Like a thing to do with ArvCon. Like, because I probably will bring the Our Vocalists in when we do the second ArvCon, ArvCon 2016 next year. It would be cool to do that, like, as a challenge. Basically, like, have everyone pick like their voice actor, like we could have chat basically choose a voice actor like representative or whatever, and then like and they would pledge a certain amount, and then like the winner, like the people that lose have to pay more to the given charity, or I don't know, we do some fun thing like that, but and sort of like pick someone to see whether or not you could do that. That's a cool idea. I should definitely check that out. At least 10 years for Cards. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. No. I do not think I will be showing, my daughter Cards Against Humanity anytime soon. Not so much. My daughter has a wonderful sense of humor, but I don't want to bring her into the darkness and the shadows quite yet when it comes to that. Man, the Patreon website has been having issues lately. They have been having problems. Gran Turismo, yeah, the endurances. I just love Gran Turismo. So good. Oh, really, Demiser? That's awesome. Oh, man. When I saw her first, that isn't annoying yet. You know what, Shabby? There is nothing that is annoying about my daughter. My daughter is amazing. She is incredibly sweet, wonderful kid. I mean, you know, as those of you will know who are parents, parenting is a difficult thing, and as everyone says, it's the toughest job you'll ever love, and there's definitely challenges that come along with it, and so it has not always been peaches and cream all the time, and in fact it would be odd, I think, if it were that way. But I've often said that it's an honor to be her father. She's really a great kid, and even her challenges are fun. I mean, like they're challenges that I feel good to engage in, if you see what I mean. Like, they're not always fun. I shouldn't say, yeah, like, woohoo. But they're fun when she does challenge. They're challenges that I'm glad I'm engaging in because it teaches me something about me. So if you get me on the subject of my daughter, we'll be here for a long time talking about that, because my kid is, I'm sure lots of parents say this about their kids, but I think my kid is the best. So, Not true, Beljora. I am completely objective about my child. No, I mean, for sure, right. Just wait till Common Core math. Nothing to worry about there, my friend, because she's not going to be getting any standardized stuff as long as I can help it. Her first few years, she's in private school, specifically so we can avoid the ridiculous amount of homework and standardized testing, which is actively anti-education. So, yeah, nothing to worry about there. I'm not against Common Core, per se, but I am extremely against the incredible overuse of standardized testing. There's basically 3 standardized tests that you ought to give, and that is a PSAT and an SAT/ACT, depending on where you are, and after you get out of college, GRE, and that's it. As far as like ones that everybody should get, that's it. This nonsensical series of standardized tests and having everyone in the world give one after 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, ugh, man. Ugh. Just not having. She'll hate you in a few years. Hey, what's up, Guilt? Welcome in, man. She'll hate you in a few years. Well, I know, Alphador. Everyone keeps telling me. It's funny. I get 2 things from people. One thing I get is, oh, enjoy it because this isn't going to last. I heard that like 3-4 years ago. So far, you know. And then the other thing I keep hearing is, oh, this is a great age. Literally every year of her life has been a great age. Oh, she's 2? Great age. 7. Like, I can't wait until she's like 45. Like, oh, this is a great age. 45 is a great age. You're going to love her at this age. Like, I mean, oh, man. So we'll see. Thanks for the host, Guilt. I appreciate it. You were homeschooled for 1st and 2nd grade. Ah, cool. Cool, Dragon. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I don't want to... nice, Guilt. That's awesome, man. I don't want to get into this too much, I promise, because we do need to get into a game, but I'm just going to say this, and I think I have a sympathetic audience here, but I just want to say this very quickly. I have been teaching now for over 20 years, and I think I know what I'm talking about. I've taught at literally every level, from kindergarten up through college teaching, and I've taught some graduate students as well, and I've advised students, and, you know, I've done this for a long time. And the one thing I can say for 100% certain is that the last and most useless thing that exists, or I shouldn't say useless, the least useful, there are uses for it, but the least useful thing, least useful tool in a teacher's toolbox is the test. Of all things that can teach students something, testing is the least valuable. Testing is a snapshot. Testing captures a moment in time, and most of the time a test is very good at determining if someone is good at a test. Any test, no matter how well designed. Standardized tests do this, except that they also then turn it up to 11, because they do that, and then on top of it, they want to make everyone into particular batches, which American education tends to be obsessed with anyway. And so I'm telling you right now that the amount of effort and time that are put into standardized tests and the amount of work that students are put through is criminal. It's criminal. It is wrong. It is illegitimate. And it has nothing to do with the big bad government controlling lives. It's got nothing to do with that. It's that it's pedagogically stupid. It is pedagogically dumb. It has nothing to do with whether someone has actually picked up on a particular subject or information or knowledge. Period. So it frustrates the hell out of me to listen to these people who know nothing about education, because these people tend to be business people, step up and say, here's the way that things ought to be done. Do you think they'd feel the same way if I walked into a boardroom and I started talking about profit and loss statements? No, but everyone, in no other profession can you just walk in and everyone's like, oh, I guess you must be an expert on education. In no other place is that the case. If I walk into a freaking garage and I'm like, oh, listen, you ought to do this with a carburetor, the guy will look at me like I have 2 heads, and he should, because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. If I walk into a business, same kind of thing. If I walk into any of these things. But what I do know a lot about is I know a lot about writing, I know a lot about music, and I know a lot about education. And these people come in and tell me my business, and the business is that testing and the obsession with data and numbers and hard facts is absolute nonsense. So I'm telling you right now. Welcome in, Devil X91. I'm telling you right now. And that's not to say your real world that you can design and help build an entire 2-story house. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, listen, this is now tests are a necessary evil to a degree. Like, you need to have a test once in a while. Like, I think it makes sense to have a midterm exam, you know? I think it makes sense to have a final exam. That's fine. But it's a factor in the overall course of a semester or the course of a year, and it is not the most important factor at all. And yet, this is the thing that people are putting emphasis on, this nonsense about data and information and all those kinds of things. It's just, it's, you know, yeah, it's crazy. What's up, Sundar? Yeah, I apologize for going on this rant. In fact, you know what? Okay, let me ask you guys a question, because seriously, I know, you know, we're here to play games and all that. Would you guys mind if I played you guys about a 7-minute video that is probably the best video I've heard on the current state of education in the United States? Would you guys be, and I promise you'll find it interesting, would you guys mind that? Or is that like, where you're like, no, go to the game right now? Because if people are like, no, I'm leaving, then I'll go right into the game, because I don't want to, you know. But Thorg mentioned Common Core, which I'm not even that opposed to the Common Core, but I am opposed to the testing that's rigged to it. So I'm curious. Are you guys cool with that or no? Like, no, no, seriously. No. Don't cap it. No. Put aside sarcasm. Put aside sarcasm for a minute. Seriously. Are you guys cool with it? Because I don't want to sort of push people out, but I think you guys might find it interesting. Dragon, I think you're 100% right. I couldn't agree with you more. It's not long, Sundar. It's not. It's like 7 minutes. And I couldn't agree with you more, Dragon. I think you're 100% right. Now, I do think not all teachers do that. Remember, teachers are now being forced into this by administrators. So this is not all on the, you know, a lot of this is not on the teachers. But I agree with you that there are some teachers who use testing as an excuse, and it's a way to make things easy for them. I couldn't agree more. And none of my classes do that, by the way. Not a single one of my classes. My classes are heavily discussion-oriented, and they are back and forth with me and the students for the entire class. 75% of the time. And the other percentage of the time are these little sort of mini discussions and mini lectures about different, you know, particular aspects of things that we're working through with examples, group work, and stuff like that. I couldn't agree with you more, Dragon. Couldn't agree with you more. Okay. If it's 50 minutes, I'm out. It's not 50 minutes. Okay, here we go. Let me find it. This video that I'm about to give you is from... hold on a second. There we go. This one that I'm about to give you guys is from a guy named Sir Ken Robinson, who is an expert on education from originally Great Britain and now lives in California. And it is the best video by a long shot that I have ever seen on education, at least the current state of it. So I think you guys are going to like this, and I think you'll find it interesting. It's done in a style where it's actually drawn. Like, you guys know those old UPS, while I'm doing this, I'm actually capturing it. So you guys know those UPS commercials they used to have where they have the person drawing on the whiteboard? That's basically what this is. And it's done to his speech, to like his commentary. So I'm gonna play this, and then we'll get into Alpha Protocol right after this, I promise. Okay. Let's see if that worked. Lovely. Okay. All right, I'm going to... I think what I might do is I might pull myself back here. Let me pull myself back for a minute. And let's pull this up. Okay, here we go. Let me know how the sound is, by the way, guys. Okay, let me know how the sound is. Let me know if it's too loud or not.
Every country on earth at the moment is reforming public education. There are two reasons for it. The first of them is economic. People are trying to work out, how do we educate our children to take their place in the economies of the 21st century. How do we do that? Given that we can't anticipate what the economy will look like at the end of next week, as the recent turmoil is demonstrating. How do we do that? The second, though, is cultural. Every country on Earth is trying to figure out how do we educate our children so they have a sense of cultural identity and so that we can pass on the cultural genes of our communities while being part of the process of globalization. How do we square that circle? The problem is they're trying to meet the future by doing what they did in the past. And on the way, they're alienating millions of kids who don't see any purpose in going to school. When we went to school, we were kept there with a story, which was if you worked hard and did well and got a college degree, you would have a job. Our kids don't believe that. And they're right not to, by the way. You're better having a degree than not, but it's not a guarantee anymore. And particularly not if the route to it marginalizes most of the things that you think are important about yourself. And people say we have to raise standards as if this is a breakthrough. You know, like, really, yes, we should. Why would you lower them? You know, I mean, I haven't come across an argument that persuades me of lowering them. But raising them, of course we should raise them. The problem is that the current system of education was designed and conceived and structured for a different age. It was conceived in the intellectual culture of the Enlightenment and in the economic circumstances of the Industrial Revolution. Before the middle of the 19th century, there were no systems of public education. Not really. I mean, you could get educated by Jesuits, you know, if you had the money. But public education, paid for from taxation, compulsory to everybody and free at the point of delivery, that was a revolutionary idea. And many people objected to it. They said it's not possible for many street kids, working class children, to benefit from public education. They're incapable of learning to read and write, and why are we spending time on this? So there's also built into it a whole series of assumptions about social structure and capacity. It was driven by an economic imperative of the time, but running right through it was an intellectual model of the mind, which was essentially the Enlightenment view of intelligence. That real intelligence consists in the capacity for a certain type of deductive reasoning and a knowledge of the classics originally, what we come to think of as academic ability. And this is deep in the gene pool of public education, that there are really two types of people, academic and non-academic, smart people and non-smart people. And the consequence of that is that many brilliant people think they're not, because they've been judged against this particular view of the mind. So we have twin pillars, economic and intellectual. And my view is that this model has caused chaos in many people's lives. It's been great for some. There have been people who have benefited wonderfully from it. But most people have not. Instead, they suffer this. This is the modern epidemic, and it's as misplaced and it's as fictitious. This is the plague of ADHD.
This is amazing, this part.
Now, this is a map of the incidence of ADHD in America, or prescriptions for ADHD. Don't mistake me here. I don't mean to say there is no such thing as attention deficit disorder. I'm not qualified to say if there is such a thing. I know that a great majority of psychologists and paediatricians think there is such a thing. But it's still a matter of debate. What I do know for a fact is it's not an epidemic. These kids are being medicated as routinely as we had our tonsils taken out. And on the same whimsical basis, and for the same reason, medical fashion. Our children are living in the most intensely stimulating period in the history of the earth. They're being besieged with information and calls for their attention from every platform, computers, from iPhones, from advertising holdings, from hundreds of television channels. And we're penalizing them now for getting distracted. From what? You know, boring stuff at school, for the most part. It seems to me it's not a coincidence totally that the incidence of ADHD has risen in parallel with the growth of standardized testing. Now, these kids are being given Ritalin and Adderall and all manner of things, often quite dangerous drugs, to get them focused and calm them down. But according to this, attention deficit disorder increases as you travel east across the country. People start losing interest in Oklahoma. They can hardly think straight in Arkansas. And by the time they get to Washington, they've lost it completely. And there are separate reasons for that, I believe. It's a fictitious epidemic. If you think of it, the arts, and I don't say this exclusively of the arts, I think it's also true of science and of maths, but I say about the arts particularly because they are the victims of this mentality currently, particularly. The arts especially address the idea of aesthetic experience. An aesthetic experience is one in which your senses are operating at their peak, when you're present in the current moment, when you're resonating with the excitement of this thing that you're experiencing, when you are fully alive. An anesthetic is when you shut your senses off and deaden yourself to what's happening. And a lot of these drugs are that. We're getting our children through education by anesthetizing them. And I think we should be doing the exact opposite. We shouldn't be putting them asleep. We should be waking them up
100%
to what they have
right.
inside of themselves.
100% right.
But the model we have is this. I believe we have a system of education that is modeled on the interests of industrialism and in the image of it. I'll give you a couple of examples. Schools are still pretty much organized on factory lines, so ringing bells, separate facilities, specialized into separate subjects. We still educate children by batches. You know, we put them through the system by age group. Why do we do that? You know, why is there this assumption that the most important thing kids have in common is how old they are? You know, it's like the most important thing about them is their date of manufacture. You know what I mean? Well, I know kids who are much better than other kids at the same age in different disciplines, you know, or at different times of the day, or better in smaller groups than in large groups, or sometimes they want to be on their own. If you're interested in the model of learning, you don't start from this production line mentality. It's essentially about conformity, and increasingly it's about that as you look at the growth of standardized testing and standardized curricula. And it's about standardization. I believe we've got to go in the exact opposite direction. That's what I mean about changing the paradigm. There was a great study done recently of divergent thinking.
This is great too.
Published a couple of years ago. Divergent thinking isn't the same thing as creativity. I define creativity as the process of having original ideas that have value. Divergent thinking isn't a synonym, but it's an essential capacity for creativity. It's the ability to see lots of possible answers to a question, lots of possible ways of interpreting a question, to think what Edward de Bono would probably call laterally, to think not just in linear or convergent ways, to see multiple answers, not one. So, I mean, there are tests for this. I mean, one kind of cod example would be people might be asked to say, how many uses can you think of for a paperclip? One of those routine questions. Most people might come up with 10 or 15. People who are good at this might come up with 200. And they do that by saying, well, could the paperclip be 200 foot tall and be made out of foam rubber? You know, like, does it have to be a paperclip as we know it, Jim? You know. Now, there are tests for this, and they gave them to 1,500 people. This is in a book called Breakpoint and Beyond. And on the protocol of the test, if you scored above a certain level, you'd be considered to be a genius at divergent thinking. Okay? So my question to you is, what percentage of the people tested, of the 1,500, scored at genius level for divergent thinking?
I want to ask that same question to you guys. What do you think the percentage of people that they tested were at the, what level do you think tested at the genius level for divergent thinking? What do you guys think? Just like throw out a couple of numbers in chat. And I'm only about maybe like 4 hours into it, Crip. What do you do? And how you doing, Crip? What's going on? 120. Percentage. 5%, less than 10%. Ah, now let me give you another bit of information. What if I told you that the group that they were surveying was kindergartners? So these 1,500 people were all kindergartners. What percentage of those would you think tested at the genius level for divergent thinking? If I told you they were kindergartners. $100%, 97, 0, 98, 95, 70. Kindergartners. Okay, let's see.
Now, you need to know one more thing about them. These were kindergarten children. So what do you think? What percentage at genius level? 80. 80, okay. 98%. Now, the thing about this was it was a longitudinal study. So they retested the same children 5 years later, age of 8 to 10. What do you think? 50? They retested them again 5 years later, ages 13 to 15. You can see a trend here, can't you? Now, this tells an interesting story, because you could have imagined it going the other way, couldn't you? You start off not being very good, but you get better as you get older. But this shows two things. One is we all have this capacity.
All of us.
And two, it mostly deteriorates. Now, a lot of things have happened to these kids as they've grown up. A lot. But one of the most important things that happened to them, I'm convinced, is that by now they've become educated. You know, they've spent 10 years at school being told there's one answer, it's at the back. And don't look. And don't copy, because that's cheating. I mean, outside schools, that's called collaboration, you know, but inside schools. Now, this isn't because teachers want it this way, it's just because it happens that way. It's because it's in the gene pool of education. We have to think differently about human capacity. We have to get over this old conception of academic, non-academic, abstract, theoretical, vocational, and see it for what it is, a myth. Secondly, we have to recognize that most great learning happens in groups, that collaboration is the stuff of growth. If we atomize people and separate them and judge them separately, we form a kind of disjunction between them and their natural learning environment. And thirdly, it's crucially about the culture of our institutions, the habits of the institution and the habitats that they occupy.
Now that, to me, is the best video I have ever seen on summarizing the current educational system. I think that is absolutely brilliant. And I think he's 100% right. I have no argument. I guess I could maybe quibble a little bit with the whole, you know, copying isn't cheating thing, which is sort of what he's implying. That's not exactly accurate, but I think that is absolutely brilliant. This guy, Ken Robinson, is amazing. He is absolutely amazing. And so, you know, the point that I think he's making there, which I think is significant, is that the reason we are in this position, the reason that we've sort of come to this state, is because of a situation that was a system of education based on 19th century thinking, not 21st century thinking. And it's a system that is largely designed to maintain and produce conformity. Now, that does not mean, therefore, that we should not have teachers. That is, in fact, the opposite of what it means. We need teachers more than ever. But it means that teachers need to be allowed to teach, and students need to be allowed to learn in their own multiple fashions, and we need to get out of this nonsense of moving them through one batch at a time. And here's the killer. If we were to create a system that was much more based, that you get on sort of an individualized level with some schools, if you were to create a system in which individual learning styles were respected and given credit, you would have far better prepared students and a much cheaper educational system in the long run. That's the killer. In the long run, this is going to produce better students for less. But because we are so caught together with all of this, you know, it's just, exactly, Fire Snake, exactly. I love that. Well, yes, and Beljora, I would say too that, yeah, his point about the groups, his point about that he would not argue with you about that. His argument is that there is a constant sort of obsession with individual ranking, right? And like individual versus individual accomplishment and merit. And his point is that in the real world, what you do is form communities. Like even the most individual people who hate people and never want to see people, even those people have someone they care about. Even those people, we are biologically hardwired to be social in some fashion. And so that's what he's arguing. He's arguing that to split kids off, therefore, and keep them from ever connecting with each other, keep them from having discussions, keep them from coming together in group work, keep them from doing all that stuff, you are artificially separating them when it's not going to be effective. But that's not to say that, the homeschooling thing is an issue. By the way, I'm not necessarily in favor of widespread homeschooling because I also think that there are people who don't really know what they're doing when it comes to teaching. I mean, I do think you need people who are trained to be able to do this at a certain point. I think parents can do it for a while, but I do think eventually you need people, unless they're trained themselves, you do need people who are sort of trained to do it. The question, though, is trained in what? If it's trained in, let me give you a bunch of papers and you just sort of look at and sort papers on a desk, that's one thing. But if you're talking about training people who can help students find something within themselves, that's what you want. I am teaching students in my classes about Lord of the Rings, yes, and about Harry Potter, and about revenge tragedy, and about fantasy fiction, science fiction, about creative writing. That's true. But I am also teaching them, most importantly, regardless of content, to be better thinkers. I want them coming out of my classes thinking better. I want them coming out of my classes thinking about literature and about what it means to be human in a different way, in a better way. That's much more important than open mouth and feed, like they're a baby bird and I feed them food and then close the mouth. That is garbage teaching. Teaching involves training someone to be a better thinker. And when you anesthetize kids, and I absolutely agree with him, that's what's happening. And to go back to what Wolfboy said, it's not that there aren't some kids who need drugs that will really help them focus, because ADHD is a legitimate thing. The problem is that it's not a legitimate thing when it's used for something like some exorbitant number, like 40% of the populace. That's not rational. And the reason that's being done is to anesthetize the kids and to shut them up. And Pink Floyd said it best, right? There's all you are is another brick in the wall. That is exactly what's being done with this system. So no, and I mean, I'm sad to hear that, Sundair, and I've heard it from others. And I believe me, as a teacher myself, I mean, I taught in an inner city high school in Hartford, Connecticut with a 50% dropout rate. I know the deal, okay? And a lot of the teachers that I saw there, a lot of them were working their asses off. So it does bother me that teachers become the fall guys for this, and everyone attacks teachers who are supposed to be father, mother, psychologist, cook. They're supposed to feed children. They're supposed to, right? It bothers me then that we attack these people who are getting paid a fraction of what their far richer, cohorts that went to law school and medical school and all that are doing. And yet they're the sort of favorite whipping boys for everyone to get yelled at, like Christie and these jackasses. So I feel bad, so that's the case. I want to put that over there. That said, I have certainly heard more than one, and I've seen more than one horror story of teachers who either because they were burned out or because they just wanted to make things easy for themselves, did that by sort of wanting kids to shut up. And that's awful. And I'm sorry that happened if you were one of those people. I really am. And I apologize on behalf of my profession. All I can tell you is that's not what I did. That's not what the people I trained with did. That's not the way that I learned. It wasn't the way my father, who was a professor was a teacher for 40 years, did. That's not what we did. And most dedicated teachers I know do this somehow and provide tremendous education in spite of everything. And I just wish that administrators would get the hell out of the way, that the politicians would get the hell out of the way, and would provide funding and money, and then would let the educators do their goddamn jobs and get out of the way and stop attacking them so they can score points with the public. That's what I wish. And I feel terrible for children that went through it. I know the feeling. I went through the system too. But it is not, I don't think the sort of what we want to have come out of that is everyone go off into your own individual corners and whoever can afford the best education wins. That would be a tragedy. So I always feel bad when I hear stories like that, and I am sorry, but that's not what I do. And it's not the way that most of the teachers that I do did that as well. 100%. 100%, Dragon Spear, you need to bring back arts and shop classes. 100%. 100%. And I'll tell you this right now, and this is nothing against folks who are in STEM. I certainly understand the importance of, I understand the importance of math and reading, and I get it. But if you take away music from kids, if you take away drama from kids, if you take away the fine arts from kids, you are handicapping them in all those fields, including science and math. You are handicapping children in math when you take away music, because study after study after study has demonstrated that a greater knowledge of music and music theory translates directly to greater knowledge of mathematical knowledge. This is a pedagogical fact. So when you remove music from them, you're not just taking away music, you're also taking away math. When you remove fine arts classes, and you remove the learning that goes on when someone learns how to sculpt and how to understand proportion and how to understand scale, you are hurting them both in math and in science, because they learn to understand relative portions. They learn to understand relative scale, one thing to another. And forget about what happens when you take away learning in the humanities so that they forget about what it means to be a better human being. Like, let's forget about social education and ethics and all those other kinds of things. When you take away the arts, this is what you do. So a shop class, Heischel, is like wood or metal shop. Like when I was a kid going to high school, we had wood shop, which is like you would go to this place and you would do like woodworking. Like you would learn how to make like shelves or like a table or a chair or something like that. And in metal shop, I didn't take metal shop, but metal shop you could build like, you know, sculptures, or sometimes kids would get really advanced and would build like one kid built a bike. Like did a bike in metal shop. So it's, you know, it's working with the hands basically, right? And it's something which used to happen a lot, and then it got cut along with every arts class under the sun, because who needs music? Answer: everybody. Everybody. Everybody needs the arts. Everyone. Everyone needs to take a shop class. Everyone does. Because the connections that are made there apply to everything. And so you know, and the amazing thing is, if you talk to corporations about this, companies are not asking for people who can come out and recite what the CEOs tell them to say. Companies are like, we need people who can communicate. We need people who can think creatively. We need people who can think outside the box. In other words, companies want exactly the opposite of what the current system is preparing students to do. The current system is preparing students to shut up and sit down and conform and listen to bells waiting for the bells to ring so they can leave class. That is exactly the opposite of what companies want. So, you know, this pie in the sky thing about what teachers think, and like, oh, well, we're off doing our own thing, is such, pardon me, bullshit. Because what it relates to fundamentally is a misapprehension of what actually is needed for the student. And what a student needs is to learn to use this, and to connect this, preferably, with this, so that the head and the heart can actually produce a well-educated and well-thought-out, well-prepared for thinking human being who is ready to enter the society and become a productive member of it. That is what is needed. Not data and numbers and ever more obsession with how many tests you can stick. Do you guys know that right now, fully something on the order of 35 school days in an 8 to 9 month year, so basically 1 full month, is dedicated to testing or preparation for testing directly. And I'm not even talking about, like, you know, other sort of studying for the exam. I'm talking about a full month plus is dedicated, of the school year now in high schools in America, are dedicated to just testing. That is insanity. It is absolute insanity. It's insanity. It's insanity, and it's generated and run for one reason and one reason alone, and that is conformity. I shouldn't say that. 2 reasons. Conformity is one, and do you know the other? Do you know who's making lots and lots and lots of bank? You know who's making tons of money off standardized testing? Go talk to the people at ETS and ask them who's doing well, and they'll tell you. ETS is doing a bang-up job. For those of you from Europe, ETS is the International Testing Service. They are the main folks who handle, like, the SAT, the standardized, the Scholastic Aptitude Test, or the PSAT, or the GRE. Standardized test companies are doing just great. They're making a fortune on this stuff. Education, in the meantime, goes to hell. And, you know, the point here, and by the way, yeah, no, I hear you, Bozora. And again, my point here is not to say that all tests are bad all the time. My point is that the scales are so tipped in their favor that it will take a long time to get us back to some kind of normalcy. In a high school setting, a couple of tests in a semester, like a half of a year, fine. 5, 6, 8, 10, insanity. Having kids having to stay up in fourth grade to do homework so they can prepare for a standardized test is insanity. It's abuse. Do you know that my daughter, who is in second grade now, has friends who have 2 hours of homework a night in second grade? Thank you, Biohazard. I appreciate it. Hey, Dark. In second grade, we're going to give a kid 2 hours of homework a night in second grade. And then we wonder, when they get to 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, we wonder why they hate school. Gee, I can't imagine why. We drug them. We tell them to shut the hell up and don't ask questions. We tell them to stop being curious. We tell them not to collaborate. We tell them they need to do 2 hours of homework at a time when they ought to be outside playing. Yet somehow we're amazed that they come out of it hating school. I can't imagine. We judge things based upon the profit a company makes rather than the people they're supposed to serve, and we're shocked when the people don't like it. I'm sorry, but this, and I would argue that there is no more important issue that faces America right now, and I can't speak for the rest of the world, but I know that there is no more important issue facing America right now than this one. And that's because I think that our educational problems, our educational issues, the constant attacks on teachers, the undercutting of the public education system, the massive obsession with testing, all of these things are going to make it that much more difficult to handle any other issue that we face. You want to understand how to deal with climate change? Produce scientists. You want to get scientists produced? Make them actually give a damn about science. Make them curious. Don't overwhelm them with numbers. Make them curious about the field. You want people to come out feeling like they ought to care more about people than profit? Teach them literature. Teach them music. Teach them art. Teach them what it means to be a human being. And if you don't do that, then don't sit on your hands up in Washington and go, I can't imagine why. I don't really understand why we're not going to the math, arts, and sciences. Gee, genius, I wonder why. I wonder why. It is criminal. It is criminal what is being done. And it is laid at the feet of the corporations that run testing. It is laid at the feet of the businessmen who think they know more about education than the educators do. And it is laid at the feet of the politicians who, rather than supporting the teachers who are doing the best job they can, and are trying to help parents who are doing the best they can usually as well, instead use teachers as a convenient scapegoat and scream and yell at them. It is a crime. And I think that there are ways out of it. I think there's ways that we can address it. But I do not think it is going to come by talking about how much standardized testing we can put on the head of a pin. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for going off on that, but I Sundare. I mean, listen. Now, not all of you may like this book, okay? I'm just using this as an example. Learning to read this, reading this will do more to advance a student's education than 100 million examples of tests and data and numbers, showing them this. For those of you in the math and sciences, teaching people the experiments that make science fascinating, showing them the cosmos, showing them chemical reactions, showing them physical experiments, even better, letting them do physical experiments, letting them screw up the experiments so they can learn. That will teach them 1,000,000 times more than any number of textbooks and forms and figures and templates and sheets and tests that you want to give them. Yeah, Thorg was talking about the Common Core. Again, my objection is not so much to the Common Core, because I do think that there are things that it helps for everybody to learn. My objection, number one, is how we construct the Common Core, and two, my objection is that they tie the Common Core to testing, and I am highly against the obsessive testing we have now. I think testing needs to be 100% in the other direction. Testing should be minimized. Right now, it's maximized. It's dead opposite of what it should be. Well, thanks, Firesnake. I appreciate that. You guys know that I go periodically once in a while, I go on these rants, but it just, I've been there, and I saw these kids doing this. I'll tell you guys a story. I taught in Bulkley High School in Hartford, Connecticut, and I was there in 1994, student teaching, okay? Bulkley High School has a 50% dropout rate. Huge proportion. There was gang violence, which was not that, actually had not been around that long. It was about 1989 that gangs really entered into the picture in Hartford, Connecticut. Heavily, diverse population, heavily poverty-stricken population, the whole 9 yards, right? I was teaching a class of kids in what was called senior remedials. Senior remedials was basically, I had like maybe 12 students or so. These were the kids that were struggling. They were seniors in high school, but they were struggling with kind of the basics, right? And a lot of them, there were something like 6 girls in the class. 3 of them were pregnant or had kids already. Okay, so the whole 9 yards, right? But here's the thing that people don't think about. All of those kids, every single one of those senior remedial kids, were arguably a success story because they were the kids that didn't drop out, right? Can you imagine what it's like to be in a senior remedial class? You're trying to catch up as a senior in high school, and yet somehow, unlike the vast majority of their classmates who were in that same boat, like I said, 50% dropout, most of those would have been people that would have been in a senior remedial class. They were in that class. And those kids are sitting in that class, right? Those kids are sitting in that class trying to catch up and learn. I assigned these students an essay about a significant decision they had to make in their life. And it was, I think, related to, I want to say that I may have taught The Outsiders. It was a class assigned book, I think, and so I had to teach The Outsiders, and I think it was The Outsiders. Anyway, so there was a particular decision that Ponyboy makes or something, and so I ended up teaching that, and I asked them to write an essay in which they talked about that. I got an essay, I will never forget this, I got an essay from a student. Who handed me this sheet. And on the sheet, he talked about the decision that he made that he was most proud of was the time that he did not pull the trigger of a gun that he had held at the head of another boy as part of a gang initiation. He was told to kill this kid so he could get into a gang. And he was proud of the fact that he had chosen not to do that. Now, you explain to me, you tell me which one of these jackasses that are calling for political policy, that are calling for standardized tests, that sit in rooms in these universities and say, I know what we'll do. Why don't we ask these people questions about various aspects of farming technology? You tell me which one of those has ever in their life talked to a kid like that. Find me one of them. Find me one. They don't go into their cities. They don't go into their classrooms. They don't give a good goddamn about them. They sure as hell care about the soundbite, but they don't care about that kid. Well, I do. And teachers that I saw did also. And the students that we saw come out of that classroom, those are kids that you better know what you're dealing with when you go in there. And they were the success stories. In my 20 plus years of teaching, I have never, ever, once in my life met a kid who at some level didn't want to learn. I met plenty of kids who were messed up because of difficult home environments, because their cousin got shot the night before, because they had no food, because their parents were beating each other up on a regular basis, because there were drugs, because I ran into plenty of kids who were messed up. I ran into plenty of kids who acted out. And when I got into college, I ran into some kids that were entitled too. I ran into lots of them. But I have never ran into a child, not once, who didn't at a basic level want to learn. And you know why? Because we are hardwired to do it. We are hardwired to learn. We are hardwired to be educated. We want to learn. We want to be human like this. We want to know about science because it's fascinating. We want to know about math because math is interesting and ties into everything in the world. We want to do that. We have to work hard to get people out of education. We have to fight to get them uninterested. We have to drug them to keep them from caring. But I will never forget that kid whose name was Lewis, by the way. I will never forget that kid. I will never forget that essay. And I will never forget that that is the student that is getting ignored by these people. Not just in Washington, D.C. This is not an anti-government rant. This is an anti-business people that know more than educators do rant. Because they don't. So, yes, you make a good point, Shabby. Let's get into the games. Yes, you're right. So, I apologize, guys, but it's in here. It's not in an exam. Sorry. No, you're quite right. Thank you, Shabby. Thank you. And if you, well, yeah, I appreciate that. And if you got, listen, and if any of what I just said meant something to you, I just saw AMC saying go for your teaching degree. We need you. We need you. And I'm not going to pretend that it's easy, because it's not, because you have a lot of institutional places that are against you. But it is starting to change. There are parents who are starting to turn against this and are starting to work with the teachers instead of against them. But we need more of them. So. Okay. Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks. Yeah, I know. Overall, this channel is 90 million%. You know, obviously 90 million% is gaming, but once in a while. Woo! Oh, thanks, Firesnake. Thanks, Blackberry. Well, I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. I mean, you know, when I like joking aside, no one rants. I don't want to make people feel weird about a rant, but I believe it though. I believe it. I really do. So I hear you, Money. I hear you, Money. Yeah, for sure, Heavens. And again, this is not an anti-business thing. Oh my God, loud. This is not an anti-business thing either, really. It's just an again, it just annoys me that if I go into a business setting, I wouldn't be expected to know anything about profit and loss statements, but apparently everyone is supposed to know everything about my business. That's all. And business people are the ones calling the shots at these board of trustees, and, you know, that's why there's so much emphasis on data and numbers. That's all. I'm not, believe me, I know you're a logistics guy, so I'm not, you know, in any way attacking business per se, but that is the sort of dominant kind of paradigm at the moment, and so that's all. Okay. Oh, thanks, Fire. Well, thanks, pal. Is always uncomfortable. Really, Willie? All right, well, having said all that, now it's time to blow away some goddamn bad guys. Huh? What do you say? Who's with me? Hype, 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 hype. This guy's like, I will win for the children! Oh, God. Sorry about that. Hi, Alphador. Yeah, what's going on, man? Sorry, guys. I have started my Good Old Games gig. Yes. I did my first Pen and Pixel show last Tuesday. Second one's coming up next Tuesday. Thanks, Ovenal. Okay. Hoorah! Bad guy blowing away! Okay. What the hell am I doing? It'd actually be nice if I know where I'm going. It's Thundercake! Okay. Oh, really? Actually, Hishel, can I ask, what country are you from, if I may ask? That I agree with, Dragon. I'm with you on that. What's up, Tobik? Okay, what do we got here? Oh, that's right. We wanted to do Nasri. Yes. Nasri, the arms dealer. Yes, indeed. Operation Nasri. For the children! That's going to be my watchword tonight. Every time he goes up, he's just going to be like, for the children! Alpha for the children protocol! All right. Stolen missiles have been tracked to a black market arms dealer. You're from Brazil. Ah, okay. Am I pronouncing... please let me know, by the way, anyone who's new in chat, if I'm not pronouncing your name properly, please let me know. Like, if you'd rather I call... If his shell is not right, if you want me to call you Gwerzer instead, or, like, please let me know that. Thanks, Alphador. Oh, and also, I've also, by the way, Alphador, I don't know if you knew this, but I've actually was allowed. I asked Outstar Walker from Good Old Games, and they said it was fine for me to post. I actually posted the Pen and Pixels game up on my YouTube channel. So I actually have my Pen and Pixel show up on my YouTube channel as well. So it's in both of those places. That's right. Thanks, Killbite. I mean, Beljora, they're okay as, like, general instruments. The problem is I don't have an objection to tests, like, if they're considered a very limited thing. The problem is tests are the be-all, end-all. So you see these international ranks, and everyone's like, oh, my God, ranks, and they go running around with their chickens like with their heads cut off. That's not what they're for, you know? So as a blunt instrument, yes. As a specific, that's good. Oh, good. All right. That's cool. Oh, God, Sunder. Okay. So, stolen missiles, set up camp in an abandoned palace outside Zalim, break into Nasri's compound, find out everything he knows. Where are the children? Where are they? Where's Rachel? Let's do it. Abandoned city outside Zalim. So.
Careful, Mike. Don't play games with these guys.
If I can get in without a firefight, that makes getting to Nasri that much easier.
American. Nasri said nothing about an American.
Ooh,
I'm not looking to advertise my presence, only to do business.
Business, eh?
Check with Nasri if you don't believe me. He's waiting for me, and my down payment.
I call ahead. Go on through.
Oh my God, that voice acting. I call ahead.
Can't believe you bluffed those guards.
Yeah! I guess you win. That's right, I win. I bluffed it like a boss! And you know what I did when I walked past him? I walked past him, he's like, I'll check with Nasri, and I'm like, for the children. And he's like, psychological headshot! He's like, you're right, go in. Oh, good times, good times. You should be able to reskin the main character's Batman. I want to reskin him as Sir Ken Robinson. Exactly. He's waiting for me and my down payment, and I'm going to rescue those kids. What is this? What's this now? Yeah, there you go. Did I have some caffeinated drink? No, Tobik. I didn't have a caffeinated drink, man. I just, you know, they got me onto a subject I really care about. I really care about stories and writing. I really care about, I care about kids, and I care about education. And if people attack my family, my friends, people I care about, if they attack children, I'm not, you don't mess with me on that. Not you guys haven't, but I'm saying, like, you know, people should not. The whole, like, do it for the children thing, I mean, obviously that's funny, but, like, it's not just about that. It's seriously about don't mess around, like, for reals. Okay. What the F is this? What the heck is all this stuff? Stealth... Oh, stealth path? Wait a minute, wait a minute. They give me a stealth path? Yeah, there it is, Biohazard. They gave me a stealth path. Really? What? This is my Let me check and see what my, like, what intel I was given here. I checked this before I left. I don't understand. I have to infiltrate the palace and switch. Yeah, education, literature, and raisins are the only things that'll set me off. That's it. That's it. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Am I now facing the right direction or not? No, I'm not facing the right direction. Oh, poor Glob. He spends all this time listening to me rant about standardized. Listen, the SAT is fine. I don't have a problem with the SAT. I just have a problem with everyone doing everything like the SAT over and over again. So, go knock him dead, man. Just keep it in its proper place, that's all. Oh, God, Alfador. That's true. If someone wanted me to talk about the teaching of raisins... Hey, listen, Lorraine Hansberry is a fine, fine author. What?
Looks like they figured out I was bluffing.
Nasri's headquarters are in an old palace up the hill.
Okay.
That's your target.
Okay, so it wasn't my fault. Because I was like, what? Hey, what's up, monkey? Let's see. Okay, so it is what I thought. So much for stealth. Well, I mean... I really wish I could close these doors. It really annoys me that I can't. I don't like anything about any of this. I feel completely exposed. I like none of this. Hey, what's up, 5x9? Yes, it is a little bit older. 2010, I want to say. Pistol laser sight. Hell yes. Can I adjust that now? Come on, give it to me. Pistol laser sight. Yes. Yeah, pistol laser sight. That's right. The gruffest voice ever. It's true. Ow, hey. Ah! God damn it, you bastard. Son of a... This is going swimmingly. Ow! God, son of a... What can I do with you? Suck it. I know, right? It was supposed to be... Show that Aru's boss. It's sort of hard to position yourself, honestly. What's up, Pension? Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot I could do about that, honestly. Like, there wasn't a whole lot I could do about that. Because what happened was... There wasn't a whole lot I could do about that, because someone called ahead and told them that I was bluffing. And so at that point, there isn't a whole lot I can do. unfortunately. How am I doing on the alleged stealth path? Sounds like I'm doing great. Oh my god, I feel so freaking exposed. Yep. Yeah, I don't mind the mini games. At least not that one. The number mini game is a little weird, but I don't mind it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Nice. Checkpoint reached. I shall save it. I know that it's only going back to that same thing, but I want to be able to... If I went through the rest of the mission, I'd like to be able to know that. Why you know parkour over rooftops? That's a very good question, Thorg. Why am I not parkouring over rooftops? Excellent question. Great. So my stealth path leads me through a freaking arena. Great. Great. That's tremendous. Okay, I guess it's not as open as I thought. The thing that I just activated, by the way, is awareness, which lets me see basically enemy movement. Yeah, I should do that. Hey, Nedo, what's up?
No need to risk a direct confrontation.
I'll keep an eye out.
See, like, I want to close this door. Why can't I close this door again? Let me close the door. Okay. Just do it the hard way. Okay. I know, doors are one-time use. They're like disposable doors. See, okay, I want to wait here for a minute, and I'll tell you why. There's, you guys see this icon that's underneath my health bar to the left with the circle that's gradually going? That is my awareness skill, which is gradually building up again. And that awareness skill is going to be super useful for me in this next area, so I'm going to hold on before I do that. Also, while I'm waiting for that, I got a remote mine, I've got a shock trap, I already used an explosive grenade. First aid kit. I guess I'll keep the explosive grenade for now. My god, he's gone! Really? Really? Super stealthy going over the wall there, bud. Yeah, I see you, bro. I see you knocking. Oh, we got a fire. Okay. Hey, what's up, Edgy? Is that it is? Yeah. That one. You guys don't understand what we have to deal with. Okay, so I'm going straight and then left. Straight and left to maintain the stealth path. If I blew up that barrel, there'd be some fun fireworks, but... God, I wish my tranquilizer dart would work. One guy down. Definitely DQ. Good to see you, Edgy. Definitely Dairy Queen. I mean, no question, man. Dairy Queen is where it's at. Okay, that's the alarm. $2,500. Okay, over there. $4,500. The Wendy's girl is hot. Well, I mean, listen, what's up, Axe?
What's up with you? What's this?
Did you see me? Please tell me you didn't see me. Very nice. Did not see anything at all. Zestos. I do like tater tots. They're still going the stealth path? Yes, I am. Wait a minute. No, I'm off the path. I'm off the path. I don't even understand what. I don't. Oh! This is the path. Okay. Out. Ooh, that music though. That music. Alright. Ooh, steel core rounds. Wait a minute. Let me check what I have equipped again. Pistols, please. Okay, here we go. That crotch walking animation is disgusting. Yeah, well, it's probably fairly accurate. Wait, no. No. Controls. Key mapping. How the heck do I... Weapons is X. Alright. There we go. These things are expensive, but they're very useful. Oh yeah, that isn't making any noise. Freaking kidding me with that? Really?
Fuck up a lot of stairs.
Creek, I'm here. Anyone who wants to know. Whoa, badass. Alright, let's save that last checkpoint. He needs ninja shoes. He does.
Hurry and unload those trucks.
What have we here? I think I heard Nasri somewhere. How are we doing on the stealth path? We're gonna go around there. Okay. Ninja socks. Can you demonstrate crotch walking on cast for us to make an accurate
Make
analysis?
yourself useful. Start unloading the second truck.
Why must we hurry to unload these weapons? Nasri has plenty to display already.
It's gonna be a joy. Oh my god. Well, that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I won't. That's fine, Shadowed. I won't. Wonder if I can do... Oh my god, he was looking my way. Oh my god. Whoa. God, I gotta go. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get I'm not sure I'm gonna get a chance to use him in this environment, Thorg. I did get my arena room that I was worried about. That guy up there is the issue. Stealth path still has me going this way. Straight ahead and then over. Yeah. By the way, in case you're wondering why there's a stealth path played out, it's because I paid extra intel for it. Money to get the intel on it. That guy's that way. I need that guy to turn around. Oh, what? Oh my god. Wow. Holy crap. Hey, buddy. Your shoe's untied. You're seriously not, really. Please don't see me. He's like, hip. Oh god. Oh. Thanks for the money. Best guard ever. Yep. Yep. Okay, am I still on the path? Thank you, evasion. Yeah. Ring! Exactly. What? So I need to turn right. No. I don't get it then. Oh, okay. Okay. That means there's 2 guys left. There's this guy. And there's the guy in the tower. There's 2 guys left. And I probably do have to go up on the scaffolding, yeah. Crate.
Found a way into the palace.
Good. Going to be hot in there. Careful, Mike.
Okay. Yes, I saw that I leveled up. That was pretty fun. Okay. Now, right. Level up. Nope, that's not how you level up. The heck do you level up? Service record, that's it. Nice. Okay, so first of all, quite obviously, we're going to level that up, because awareness is amazing. Shadow Operative allows me to be invisible. And what's this? Armed and Dangerous allows me to carry twice my normal allotment of pistol ammunition. You know what? I feel like I'm using so much of the stealth. Wait, what? I can't... Why can't I not buy that? Oh, there we go. Why can't I not? I don't get it. Why can't I buy that? Oh, I can only buy one at a time? Oh. Alright. Well, I'm going to buy that one. The guy in the corner was tweeting. Thanks, Fire Snake. Okay, well. Then yes, I'm going to pistol it up. New objective, find Nasri. Okay, I'm now on the palace, so I have to find Nasri, I have to gather intel. So... let's save it at the last checkpoint. Nice. Chain shot, silent running. What? Why do I not have any more? What's going on with awareness? Why don't I have awareness anymore? Do I only have a limited number of awarenesses per mission? Oh my god, is that true? I only have a limited number of... Really? Checkpoint range. Well, that's some crap. Awareness is on all the time? Yes! I am always aware. Freaking heck with that then. I might as well put in a skill. Like maybe silent running. Walking and running completely silent. Or chain shot. Better do that. That's so cool. I am always aware of all things. I now have the basics of Metal Gear. Alright, so the stealth path sends me... Okay, gather intel. That's what I thought. So I have to do that by going in here. Briefcase. And I got intel. And I got experience. What intel have I gotten? Exactly. Okay, so now I have to switch shipping labels. Which I assume is up here somewhere. Need to find Nasri. Yeah, it's still the same. Okay. I'm now omniscient. Silent running is really cool. I actually, you know what? I don't know what happens if you fail a lockpick. I know what happens if you fail a hack. The alarm goes off. But, oh my god, that's so amazing, that awareness. I thought it was like, that's the opposite. I was about to be really annoyed. I was like, what? It has limited? And they're like, no. Now you know all. I'm like, yes. In Saudi Arabia, I learned. Okay. Now I'm back on the stealth path. Okay, for real. Alright, I'm gonna come back to that guard in a minute. So... what, I will guard this wall. With every fiber of my being, I will guard this wall. This wall will not move out of my sight. This wall may attempt to leave, but I will be prepared. This wall will do nothing. I will keep this wall from escape. The wall will pay for the... What the hell was he looking at? I don't, what is he looking at? No, he's looking... But there's a bug on the wall. I would love it. I would love it. I would love it if you go over here and like there's a big button that like opens to the instant win room. I would crack up and I would praise Obsidian with great praise. However, I think that's just, you know, pre-Pillars of Eternity Obsidian being pre-Pillars of Eternity Obsidian. Oh my god, man. What the hell was that? The alarm system. He's told to stand in the corner, just peed in the corner. Why did I pee in this corner? I mean, come on, man. Like, what? I don't even... Well, for a minute, I'm like, what? I can't believe it went.
Nice collection. Wonder if any of it works.
Okay, that was cool. Easy buttons are operated. I figured I was wrong with these guards. Opium. That was cool, though. That was cool. Did you guys hear when the door opened and the tank was there? Did you hear the music? The whoosh. That was cool. I like that. I love attention to sound design.
See if there's something you can use.
That's what I thought. Oh god. Okay. That could have been bad.
What's this?
Okay, down and to the right. I've been copy wronged. Okay. Lovely. What's this? It's not a wall. What could it be?
Careful, Mike. Nasri's got to be nearby. There's no other exits from the palace.
Thanks for your incredible support throughout this, Yancey. You've been really, I mean, a friend in need and all that. You know, I'm happy that we get some sensibility established in this, Thorg. A copyright that most people ignored anyway. Defeat Nasri's guards. No, I want to stealth past Nasri's guards. Okay. Oh, there they are. Hi. Okay, that's a lot of guards. That's a lot of guards. Darkness, 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 darkness. Is there a SUNY school I would recommend for a teaching degree? That's interesting. I would need to think about that, EMC. I mean, there's a lot of good SUNY systems. SUNY Albany, I do know that SUNY Albany has a pretty good program, I know, as far as they do pretty well with a lot of graduate teaching stuff, I know. But that's not the same thing as sort of like the secondary, or first of all, undergrad, like secondary market. I don't know about that, but I might look into SUNY Albany for one thing. And I know that because I have a family member who went there. And also, I used to know somebody who taught at SUNY Albany as well. So SUNY Albany has a good rep. And the SUNY system in general is... The SUNY and the CUNY system, both of them are good in the sense that you get a lot of hands-on experience. The CUNY system is probably better in terms of hands-on teaching experience, and I will say that my bachelor's degree was in English education, and then later on I got my master's in English and I moved on to graduate teaching. I moved on to, you know, college teaching from there. But the best thing I ever had in terms of like English education was not so much the classes, it was the student teaching. Like, the teaching experience was absolutely invaluable. So that, I think, would be one thing I would look for. Something which has a really good program of placing you with good teachers and placing you in good sort of internship environments. And so I know the CUNYs are pretty good on that score. So, but I hear good things about the SUNY Albany system. I know SUNY Albany. The rest of the SUNYs I don't know for sure, to be honest with you. Yeah, exactly, Killbite. You can't take it for granted. In the midst of that discussion, I forgot what I was talking about. Okay. I get up and over. Shipping labels switched. Okay. Yeah, at this point, it's going to be hard to stealth past the rest of these guys. Don't feel like getting into a firefight here, but... Sundare, I'm not going to get anywhere close to that one, my friend. Ooh, there's money back there. How did I miss that? The wrong one. Oh wait, I'm using... God damn it, I'm using tranquilizer rounds. What's up, Grows? All of that because I went for the monies. That chain shot, I don't entirely know. I guess I hit him twice with the chain shot. Very nice. I guess that's what I did, is hit him twice. Your faculty is your house? I don't have any way to disable that alarm, do I?
Mike, have you spotted Nasri?
He's right here. He's got nowhere to run. This should be quick. Give me a sec.
You, who are you?
A businessman.
You come all this way to do business? You blow up my merchandise, kill my men.
They're not big on conversation. I'm looking for a shipment of Halbeck missiles. Hand them over, and we both walk out of here.
A
The
couple,
missiles.
many of them, Blackberry.
You're too late. Already gone. Sold.
What?
You cause all this trouble for nothing.
Sold to who?
I take their cash, not their names. You come a few days ago. Maybe you could have killed them instead of my men, eh?
Mike, this is bad news. If he's telling the truth.
What you do now, huh? Kill me? That not get your missiles back.
Mike, we need to know where those missiles went.
If we let him go, he could lead us to the people he sold the missiles to. Or they might come after him. Either way, we win.
But if he can't lead us to the buyers, then we've let a killer go, and more people will die. Remember that rocket attack in
Money,
Europe?
guns, yours, if you let me go.
Nope. You're under arrest.
No, we're taking you into custody. A copter will be here to pick you up. And your munitions.
What? Look, I pay you. You not hear me? I
Westridge,
say...
one for
I...
delivery.
On their way, Mike.
Can't risk the consequences of letting him go. We can find the missiles some other way.
Fair enough. Search the room, see what you can find.
Yeah. That went pretty well, guys. For the children. Exactly. Thank you, VMC. For the children. That was pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. 6 out of 6 objectives, 950 experience, 170 experience defeating, 120 evading enemies. I found 10 hidden loot, took an enemy loot, 18,100. The stolen Halbeck missiles were tracked to a black market arms dealer, Omar Mohammed bin Nasri. He set up camp in an abandoned palace outside Zalim. Agent Thornton was dispatched to infiltrate Nasri's compound and discover the location of the missiles. Agent Thornton successfully infiltrated the outer perimeter and got past Nasri's guards using only his persuasion skills, because charisma. Kapow. The guards eventually became aware of his presence, but by then Agent Thornton was already deep in the compound. Once inside, Agent Thornton reached the palace where Nasri was stationed, found his way in, and encountered several large stockpiles of weapons ready for clients in the region. Agent Thornton found out information on Nasri's trafficking with a local Al-Samad cell in the region. Analysts are still examining the data, but agree the preliminary examination of the intelligence looks promising, and the agent is to be commended. I don't think I'm going to check orphans in a minute, but probably some of those guards. Bonus objective, Agent Thornton discovered a crate of stolen weapons and successfully rerouted the system to a new destination. Omar Mohammed bin Nasri was intercepted inside the palace. He surrendered almost immediately. The agent on the scene arrested Nasri, disrupting weapon trafficking in the region. Hampered intelligence gathering efforts in the region, but I lowered the munitions supply for terrorists. I'll deal with the intelligence. I want to cut those weapons down. With the information obtained from the mission, Shahid's location in Saudi Arabia has been discovered, and the final phase of Operation Desert Spear is active. New mission gained and intercept Shahid and recover missiles. Okay. So, I killed enemies subdued total. 3 killed by firearms. 2 enemies tranquilized. 12 knocked out. 14 subdued. 122 damage sustained. 56 pistol shots fired. 28% accuracy. Let's see. Alarms triggered 2. Orphans created 12. Total medical bills 25,115. See, the orphans the 12 orphans that were created, that's not accurate. That is not accurate. The only ones that should have orphans created is right here. 3 enemies. Only and that's 3 enemies. Only 3 orphans should have been created, and that's only if they all had kids. What are the odds that all of them had kids? There must have been a couple of single fathers, like of single guys, like single guys without kids, right? So probably in reality, we're only talking about like 1 or 2 orphans, which I consider a net win. Yeah, those 3 enemies had 4 kids each. Probably so. Probably so. I'm pretty pleased with that that little excursion. I was trying to think of the children. Listen, man, I stealthed them. Yeah, I know. You love that? God damn it. Right. And all of you now suddenly can do math. Well, they each had 4 kids. All right. All right. All right. You guys have no idea. Also, not for nothing, but, you know, if they had wives, if they had, like, spouses, and maybe not wives, if they had husbands, I'm not going to, you know, who knows? If they were a couple, the kid's not an orphan yet. So I'm just saying. There's all kinds of possibilities you guys aren't considering in your zeal to pretend that automatically I must have done something wrong. Right, Firesnake. Yeah, now, there should be an option, like, what are you going to do? You adopt all 12 kids. I figure, well, it doesn't have to be just me. There's other agents, right? Like, if we each adopt a couple kids, you know? Take a look at our email. Good luck on a Nasri situation. Mike, the folks who write our checks are very pleased with your work bringing Nasri to justice. By very pleased, I mean they finally signed off on our request for a bigger operating budget. I'm in a good mood, so I'm going to pretend just this once that sending you a funds transfer won't be a giant security breach. Download the attachment in this email for a funds transfer from a blind escrow account and buy yourself something nice. Of course, if you tell anyone, I'll have you killed. Just kidding, but not really. Thanks, Westridge. You're a pal. Download. Wapow! 15,000, ladies and gentlemen. Cash monies. Money, 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 monies. Money, 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 monies. Cash monies. Cash monies. Money, 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 monies. Money, 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 monies. Cash dash monies. Cash monies. Oh, I'm going to the clearinghouse. Gonna go with my nearly 40,000 cash monies. Cash monies. Yeah, exactly. The best download ever. Exactly. Alright, so I'm going to sell, because I have 2 sights, I know. So I'm going to sell this basic pistol sight. Because I don't need it. Son, because I got a laser sight instead. I'm going to get need to get some more tranquilizer rounds, probably. Unfortunately. Point for person is a dog. This is slave is a dog, yeah. Okay, right. So, we've got 39,924. Does that give me enough to get me that awesome armor yet? This amazing, incredible armor? This thing? Oh my god. Oh wait, there's more stuff. Slightly improves adrenaline cooldown rates, lowers endurance. Increases ammunition carrying capacity. Of course, there's an argument to be made that since I don't want to get into battle anyway, I shouldn't be worrying about this. But man, if I take that utility armor, though. So good. His cash money's on iTunes. Cash monies. Monies. Cash, cash monies. Oh, I'm talking about the cash monies. Cash monies. Cash, cash monies. Yeah. You know I'm talking about cash monies. Yeah. Talking about the cash money, money. Money. Okay. Actually, I do want to get... let's see. I got to get me some intel, and that means I need to investigate the Jazan weapon stockpile, which is clearly what I'm doing. So let's do that. Okay. Well, the hell with it. I might as well buy those 2 things, too. Might as well get all the intel I possibly can. Alright. Well, if I can't get that... God, 118,000. Why are you so expensive? God almighty. The Samuel Seraphin is ridiculous. 118,000? I mean, I know it's amazing, but good God. It is Dogecoin, yeah. So expensive because it's worth it, yeah. That thing right there is epic. Plus 20 endurance. Has no effect on sound dampening, so I'm still just as stealthy. Adds an upgrade slot, adds an inventory space. That is amazing. It's amazing. But I'm like 19,000 away from it after I bought that intel. Oh my god. What do I have to sell? I can sell the lighter pistol barrel, which I should probably do. But that's... Get me 600. I could just sell my submachine gun, which I don't plan to use. But see, I feel like it's dumb to sell... I don't think it's a good idea. Wait a minute. What happened to my shotgun? I have a shotgun, don't I? Anyway, I think it's a bad idea to sell some things that I already have. I guess I don't own a shotgun. That's interesting. Alright, well, what other mods can I get for it? At least if I can't do that, I can try to get some mods. Gadgets. Oh, and I need to get, yeah, another... Alright. Oh, here are all the mods. I already bought all the mods. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Slightly improves ability cooldown rate is nice. I don't like it dropping my endurance, though. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I probably should save the rest of this, although I do need to get one more explosive grenade. Alright. It's a really good scope and a really bad rifle. Oh, sorry, Shadowed. Sorry, dude. Sorry, I was focused on this. What is your dilemma, Shadowed? Please tell us, and we shall endeavor to assist. What is your dilemma, sir? The Arvanauts stand ready in your hour of need. We stand prepared. God, look at that. Look at that thing. Silencer, pistol, laser sight, pistol clip, vented pistol action. I used all my steel core bullets, really? Okay. Well, easy come, easy go. It was nice while it lasted. You have 2 concerts on the same night. Okay, what are the 2 concerts? Ooh.
I sure hope Nasri likes waterboarding.
What?
I sure hope Nasri likes waterboarding.
Did you just say that?
I sure hope Nasri likes waterboarding.
Really? Really? Really, you just said that? Thornton.